Hello, guys and gals, and welcome. 4 days to go, my friends. 4 days to go. So today, obviously, the 3rd, Tuesday, the 4th, Wednesday, the 5th, and then, of course, Thursday, the 6th. That is the 4th day. So on the 4th day, Ladder Season 2 will start. And, of course, we'll do a big old launch celebration kind of a thing going on. I'm probably going to be on before Ladder even launches. Speaking of ladder, I want to get this out of the way right off the bat. If you are interested in joining our ladder kinship groups, the procedure that you are going to use to join our ladder kinship groups is number one, you need to hop into our Discord. Our Discord is now being posted into the chat right now. Once you are in our Discord, you are going to look for the channel that is labeled Kinship GGM Charter. It's basically just a bunch of rules, and you read the rules, and then at the bottom it gives you instructions on how to get in. If you break the rules, you get banned from the kinship. That's pretty much how it's going to work. Once you're in the kinship, you will find a channel that has a Google Doc, and the Google Doc is basically our sign-up sheet. So you can sign up, you can put your name down, put what class you're going to be, like what your region is, so I can try and arrange you my region if possible. So if like there's a bunch of you over in like Germany or something, maybe I'll put all you guys in Germany together so that you guys don't have to worry about ridiculous ping issues. And that's pretty much it. I'll be arranging groups on launch day. So on the actual 6th, before ladder starts, I'll be arranging all the groups, trying to get everybody in order, so that you guys have teams that are actually kind of worth using. Like I'm not just gonna throw like 8 barbarians in the same group. I mean, I could. That'd be kind of funny. Just 8 item find barbarians in the same group. I'm not sure how you guys are actually going to kill anything, but you certainly will be well bedazzled with equipment. That's for certain. All those item barbarians horking at the same time probably sound like a bad porno movie. I can't quite understand what a TPPK. You want to come PK us? That's okay. Sure, why not? It'll be fun. What's up, John Doe? How goes it? How? At level 97. Look at me all snazzy with my level 97. Look at all snazzawazzles. Beep, 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 beep. I said. What's up, Teddy? How's it going? What's going on with my keyboard? My keyboard's not breaking on me. Corsair, I need a new keyboard. Rainy day from school. I need to get some alcohol and clean my keyboard off before ladder starts. I'm gonna get it all covered in Cheeto dust and beef jerky grease. I mean, we did do crafting, but crafting kind of like has to be done like at higher levels to get really good effects out of it. Like you don't get the nicer +2s until later. So I think we waited until we had like a higher level character. I think I was the highest level character at the time, and so I was doing all the crafts. We were just crafting our butts off and handing them out to everybody. It was an easy way to get +2s early on, and plus the +2s were pretty sweet. Yeah, Smoking Jay Franklin. Hit the like button. That's right. You heard Smoking Jay Franklin. He's the boss here, boys. Everybody better hit the like button. If you don't, Smoking Jay Franklin is coming to smoke you. Frigid Highlands is currently in the corrupted zone. What's up, Eldritch the Corruptified? I wonder what kind of EXP I get just from Eldritch. It's kind of an interesting experiment. The zone is corrupted, right, but, like, Eldritch is so easy to kill. Like, it's almost like a Pendle run, right? So at this point, I could literally just leave, make a new game, right? Hop back in, kill Eldritch again, do this over and over again. I could even try and figure out exactly how much EXP I get from just running Eldritch. It could be interesting. So let's write down my EXP in chat real quick. So my EXP is 2,968,409,816. Bink. Alright, there we go. So let's kill Eldritch real quick. Let's see how much we get for just Eldritch in P1 here. Hey, get out of my face. Alright, so let's do a subtraction real quick with a calculator. So we didn't go, the millions didn't change, but the thousands did. Actually, I don't even need a calculator for that. It looks like about 44,000. We got about 44,000 EXP for Eldritch. 44,000 is not bad, actually, for literally just save and exit, create, go. Save and exit, create, go. He's right there next to the waypoint. Super fast load time. He's level 99. I think his minions are level 98. He also can drop every single item in the game. So, like, this might be a pretty good, like, little farming doojank going on here. Oh god, Light Aura. There's another champion right here. Well, I don't mind if I do. I mean, it's even better when you got two packs there, right? You can kill them with both packs. Nice little combined package. Get it? Package. The cheesiness of that joke exceeds all of my expectations for cheesy jokes. I have never heard a joke that cheesy in my life. Never. It's so cheesy, I could even explain the joke and make it more cheesy. That's how cheesy it is. Here, think about it for a second, right? So a monster, and a monster in multiples is a pack. So a pack of monsters, right? So I literally made a joke about how there was multiple packages. Packages. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's like straight out of an Austin Powers movie. I was actually watching Austin Powers movies recently, so that's probably what happened. So blame me not. Blame me not. How much is this head worth? $1? Cody, what are you chewing on over there?
Afternoon.
Anything I can chew on, I'll chew it. Give me some glass and I'll chew on that too. I literally have to raid his kennel every now and then. And I find the craziest things inside of his kennel. He literally goes into the trash can or the recycling bin, one or the other, and he finds like really dumb things, like a glass bottle of like ragu after we used it and threw it in the recycling bin, you know, because glass is recyclable, and he just has the whole glass bottle just in his kennel for some reason. Just what is he gonna do? Eat the glass? Because he can't get into it. Like it's unless he breaks it.
Not here.
You're deciding between Javazon, Poison Necro, Fire Sork in that order. The indecision is real. I mean, starter characters are pretty straightforward. You make a character based on how well you're going to be able to do with that character with relatively no equipment. You should always assume, like, the worst possible scenario. Like, you build a character, you literally, like, want to play this character, but you can't find any equipment to put on him. He's just literally in the worst possible situation that you can imagine. Like, you're naked with, like, a cracked sash on. Like, that's how you got to imagine your character. And which one of those three do you think is going to do the best naked with a cracked sash on? And in that, and then once you come to your answer, usually you come to the solution of, you know, hey, which one is probably the one I'd like to do? Because most characters that are like ridiculously difficult to build, unless you have the equipment for them, not really that great. What's up, Blackwell? What's up, Chef Smitty? I'm still waiting on some food. I need one of them turkey subs, like stat. I need a turkey sub. I need a turkey sub. A turkey sub. I don't even think I have Facebook open. I always forget I'm streaming to Facebook. Ever since I toggled it on, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to toggle it on. Just toggle it on. Just toggle it, toggle it. We gotta toggle it, toggle it, toggle it. Mr. NiNi is not here because Mr. Kubus the monster dog is currently out. Cody. Come here, Kubus. Come here, Cody. Cody, I got snacks. I got snacks. Would you like a chip? Kubus does not want to come show his face on camera today. Kubus has been bad. He's been a bad dog. Bad. Just the worst. The worst. The worst of worsts. Terrible. Terrible.
Not here.
Boom, shakalaka. Boom, 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 shakala. Terrible. Pylon. Discord PMs. Additional patch notes. Interesting. Apparently we have some additional patch notes, ladies and gentlemen. Some interesting information. Let's go over it real quick. Why not? Didn't think this was going to be a patch notes video, but, yeah, you know. Bink. So apparently there was an update to the patch notes on October 3rd, which is today. I'm not sure exactly what time they were updated, but we got a little bit of some changes in the patches. And let's go over the changes, shall we? Sculm sent me the link over here. So only the red is changes. Fixed an issue where item labels would stretch and become distorted while the character menu was open. Fixed an issue that prevented players with underscores in their offline character's name from playing a game. Fixed an issue that allowed a character movement while in the loading screen. Could that potentially prevent deaths in the loading screen also? Um, Made additional improvements to localization translations. We got Sunder Charm changes. Conviction and lower resist effectiveness will be 1/5 effective even after a Sunder Charm's applied effects. This change will go into effect on October 6th once Ladder Season 2 begins. So that means that Conviction and lower resistance will still be penalized even after the Sunder Charm effect, which is not how it was before. So they've changed that now. Which is kind of what I expected. Like, I kind of expected that. I was actually kind of surprised to begin with that the conviction and lower resistance effects were applying their full benefit after the Sunder Charm. So it's a pretty big change. What this pretty much means, by the way, is that conviction and lower resist will be far less effective than they were before in the Sunder Charms that we were testing. Terror Zones fixed an issue where the UI would not properly display chance to hit against higher level Terror Zone monsters. It would display chance to properly display chance to hit against higher Terror Zone monsters. I wonder if that means they fixed the level difference penalty problem. So there is for the longest time, as far as attack rating was concerned, it never showed the level difference penalty. So if a monster was level 99, for instance, and you were level 90, there's a 9 level difference between you and the monster that you're fighting, and so it would never really correctly display your chance to hit. It would show your chance to hit basically an on-level monster, but it wouldn't show your chance to hit the higher level monster. So it's interesting. Fixed an issue where Terror Zone warning messages were inconsistently populating. Added an indication next to the auto map to inform players where the current Terror Zone is specifically located. An indication next to the auto map, like an arrow or something. Monstats.txt. Oh, interesting. So this is a modding change. Skills, passives, super uniques, desecrated. What is that? TCN desecrated, TC hell desecrated. I'm assuming this is Nightmare, Hell, and Normal. Treasure class ex.text ladder. So this is probably an indication of the stuff that they're adding into the game. Kind of like a micro patch, yeah, a micro patch bomb. This is the stuff that they're editing into the game to make things work. I'm assuming this is all the stuff that they had to change to make the the Terror Zones actually work. So this is probably like the Terror Zone actual like mechanics, like the behind the scene mechanics. And that's pretty much it. Nothing new on the manual here. Alright, so let's go over this change real quick. Why are you doing that? Stop it. Let's go over this change real quick and let's talk about it because why not? So Conviction is an ability that applies negative 150%, depending on your level. Mine's a little bit lower for some reason right now. I got the wrong weapon set on. I don't even know. But basically what it does is it allows you to reduce the monster's resistance by a huge portion. However, when a monster is immune, it's applied under a penalty. I have the full penalty lists right here. So this is the full penalty list for conviction and lower resistance. And I'm assuming also amplify damage and decrepify, although they didn't say amplify damage and decrepify. And basically what it is they're applying at a 20% effectiveness versus immunes. So Sundering is supposed to break the immunity, but basically what we were noticing is not only does it break the immunity, it also was allowing conviction and lower resistance to work at their full effectiveness, which is kind of crazy because using conviction, you could of course bring a monster down to a relatively low damage point. However, what they've done is they've added back in the penalty. So despite the fact that the Sunder Charms were somehow circumventing the penalty, now they will no longer. So full conviction is 150%, which divided by 5 is 30% reduction. So 30% is the maximum that you're going to be able to get out of conviction now, since they have reinstated the penalty. It's still going to be a decent amount versus a monster that is immune. I mean, 30% from 95 is still going to bring you to, a killable level, because 95% is practically unkillable, whereas 95 minus 30 is definitely going to be a hell of a lot more killable than 95%. And the other interesting thing is that conviction by itself would obviously not be anywhere near as effective. So if you were to go up against a monster that was like 120% immune, you would have conviction bringing that monster from 120% down to 90. And 90% is still relatively unkillable. So in combination with the charm and conviction, you can bring the monster down even further to around 65%, which is decent. Lower resistance has never been like the craziest one. It's a 14% reduction at basically its maximum effectiveness. Conviction coming from Infinity is even worse than conviction coming from the Paladin. So it's not going to be 30% at all. It's going to be more like, what was it, like 17%? I can't remember right off the top of my head, but it's a lot lower. Because the conviction that comes from Infinity is only like level 12 versus the level 25 Infinity at 150%. Yeah, 17. So you're basically just getting a 17% reduction for utilizing Infinity. What this means is that negative enemy resistance is going to be more effective than conviction and lower resistance. Everybody's super excited to add conviction and lower resistance into the scenario. And they will still help. They're not going to not help. But negative enemy resistance is going to be more powerful. For instance, you would probably be better off utilizing something that gives you a large amount of negative enemy resistance as opposed to something that is going to give you conviction or plague, because it's going to have a stronger effect with the Sunder Charm. From Ukraine, well, hello there. You're waiting Season 2? We are all awaiting Season 2. We're on the countdown. The countdown to Season 2, yes. Freaking wrist rest is like never wants to stay in, but I can't use my keyboard without it. Otherwise, my wrist starts to like snap off from my hand. Like literally after a couple hours of play without the wrist rest, like I literally feel like my hand is starting to like disassemble. Like, nope, we gotta take this back to the factory. This hand is no good no more. This is the worst hand. You don't get to keep this hand. We're just gonna take this hand and put it back. %68 damage. I mean, you can still potentially get to that negative 100 number. It's just going to take more to get there. You're going to have to sacrifice a little bit. It's not going to be quite as easy. Honestly, I kind of like the change. Some of you guys might hate me for this, but I never really liked people overly relying on Infinity. And I kind of like the fact that Infinity got a little bit of a got a little bit of a smack in the face. Because it kind of needed a little bit of a smack in the face, if I'm being perfectly honest. It's always been a tad overpowered. I mean, yeah.
Good afternoon.
Always. Plus, I've always been a little bit jealous myself because I like playing paladins. I like playing conviction paladins, and I don't like other people having my ability. I don't like other people having my ability. Like I think conviction is something that should be unique to the paladin, so that he's useful as a character more than not. And giving everybody conviction just kind of feels like a slap in the face to the paladin. It's like here, oh yeah, you know that unique thing that only you could do? That only you can do? That only you can do? Well, guess what? Everybody has it now. These changes are updated yet? No, most likely not, Samael, because chances are they're not going to want to put those changes into effect until ladder actually starts. So it'll probably be like an hour or maybe like 30 minutes before ladder hits. The update will go live. Yep, we were just talking about it, Jules. We literally were just talking about it. I mean, I think it's a good change overall. I did think it was a little broken that they were. I did think it was a little broken that they were using going under their full strength. Conviction is extremely powerful. Negative 150% is extremely powerful. It's way more powerful than a lot of people realize. The ability to strip a resistance like that from a target is kind of insane, especially if the monster was previously immune. That's why conviction had the penalty in the first place. So reinstating the penalty really didn't do much more than just going, hey, you know, we made a mistake. Allowing conviction to go unreined in was a bad idea. Let's not do this. We're going to put it back to the penalty, which is exactly as it was intended. And it makes sense, because honestly, it doesn't, I don't think it should have been unpenalized. I was actually surprised to find out that it was unpenalized when I first tested it out, so.
How may I be of help?
Well, facets have never been penalized, so facets are never going to be penalized. That's not how they work. They don't break immunities, so they don't need to be penalized anyway. Yeah, conviction is going to be only 20% effective versus immunes. Correct. It'll still be fully effective versus non-immunes. It'll just only be 20% effective versus immunes. So it's just all they did was just restore it back to how it was before they added the Sunder Charms and made everybody go crazy with ideas. Crazy. Where is my window? God bless it. Discoordination. I'm gonna hop into kinship chat real quick so I can talk to people. Maybe. That light is very bright. Eyeballs. Ooh, that feels better. Much nicer. It's a little bit dimmer, but much nicer. Much nicer indeed. I mean, you're still going to be doing 80k DPS if that's what you're capable of. The Sunder Charms don't change anything. Like, a lot of people are really confused by this, and I don't really quite know what to tell y'all. The Sunder Charms only affect damage against immunes. Okay, so if you are capable of 80,000 damage of fireballs, then that's your damage. Okay, that is how much damage you do. None of these changes have affected how much damage your fireball does. However, versus a monster that's immune, only the monsters that are immune, yes, your damage goes down, but only because that monster is highly resistant to your attacks. It's nothing that really hasn't been in the game for a very long period of time. You're still going to be dishing out like 80k damage fireballs, but when you're attacking those monsters that are immune to you, yes, you're going to have less damage, but that's par for the course. You're still going to be able to kill them, and you're still going to be able to kill them relatively fast. What's up, Brian? I mean, if they were going to do that, they would have included it in the patch notes, Jules. I don't think they are. I mean, honestly, I don't really see Cold Sorceress as that overpowered anyway. She's going to be an early favorite, and she's going to be strong early on, but I still think that the characters, once they're properly built, are going to surpass her. Fire and Lightning Sorceresses, specifically, are going to surpass the Cold Sorceress as time goes on. The Cold Sorceress is going to be the easy early favorite, basically.
Can I help you?
But her damage potential is limited, whereas the Fire and Lightning Sorceresses are not limited in the same ways. The Fire and Lightning Sorceresses have Fire Mastery and Cold Mastery, which actually increases their damage, whereas the Cold Sorceress does not. The Cold Sorceress's only way to increase her damage is that negative resistance, which means that in any situation that matters, she really can't beef up her damage more than negative 100% cold res. I mean, negative enemy res was always the key, in my opinion, Samael. Infinity was never like an option for the majority of players out there. That's something that only like people who buy their items off JSP are calculating in. They're like, well, when I get an Infinity, most people will play an entire ladder season and never obtain an Infinity. So negative enemy resistance is really the more important part of the equation, because that's the thing that most people are actually going to have access to. There's tons of different ways you can get access to negative enemy lightning resistance, negative enemy cold resistance, negative enemy fire resistance, and so forth and so on. I mean, whether you're using something that absolutely cheesy like a Wizen Draw, which has negative 35% enemy cold resistance, or whether you're using a Crescent Moon, which also has negative 35% enemy cold resistance, or whether you're utilizing a Flickering Flame, which has negative 15, or you're utilizing, like Phoenix, which is what, negative 24. There's tons of various items throughout the game which have negative enemy resistance. Some of them are cheap, some of them are expensive, but you can usually get your hands on them a lot easier than you can in Infinity. With the exception of maybe Phoenix and Ice. I'm going to be looking to make myself an Ice Bow for my my Ice Maiden. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, CM. I mean, I'm kind of glad that Infinity kind of got punched in the gut because I'm tired of seeing everybody running an Infinity Merc. Like, use something else for a change.
Afternoon.
Use any other mercenary for a change. Like, I don't even really care. Use a freaking Act 1 Rogue Merc or a Act 3 Cold Sorceress. I don't even care. Just anything else. Anything. I'll even take a Act 5 two-handed Merc. I'm probably going to be running Act 5 Frenzy for my Boson. I can't really think of any other Merc that would do her better. Act 5 Frenzy is probably my best bet. Halbrad. Oh, it changed to the pit. Oh, nice. Let's do some pit farming. That sounds like fun, actually. Let's do a little bit of farming in the pit, my boy. In the pit. Or you could just play a new character instead of using the same old characters everybody uses every single ladder season. The thing that excites me about ladder season 2 is the possibility of playing characters that are non-standard. That's what I like about this season. Playing non-standard characters. Like, I mean, if you guys are going into this and all you want to do is play the same old boring character you played last season, I don't really know what to tell you. Don't be surprised when you utter the words, "This is boring," because that's what's going to happen. You're going to utter the words, "This is boring." And I want you to think back to this moment right here when I literally have foretold the prophecy that you guys that are literally playing the same boring classes are going to utter the words, "This is boring." Because I want you guys to eat crow as soon as it happens. Like, think back to me with the ginger beard and everything and be like, dang it, he was right. Oh, I noticed a change right now. Maybe they did patch the game. Maybe they did actually apply this patch right now. Because up there in the top right-hand corner, I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going to zoom in on it because why not? They changed the color of the text for the Terrorize Zone. That was not like that last time. I'm pretty sure that was not purple. So maybe they did actually apply a patch. Maybe we are actually looking at the new version with the conviction change. Which, if that's the case, I could actually test it. I could actually test it.
What's the change to conviction?
It's going to be applied under the penalty rules. Same thing with lower resistance.
And what's the penalty rules? I'm not up to speed. What's the penalty rules? Is it like for PvP or what?
The penalty rules have always existed for conviction and lower resistance. The penalty rules are 1/5 effectiveness versus a monster that's immune.
Okay.
So basically what the ruling, like as if we're like listening to a referee on a Super Bowl game, the ruling is that the Sunder Charms will not bypass the penalty. So conviction and lower resistance will still apply under the penalty.
Ooh, wow.
So the Sunder Charms at before were actually bypassing the penalty. They were somehow breaking the immunity in a way which was causing lower resistance and conviction to be applied under the penalty, or outside of the penalty, but they changed it back. They're like, nah fam, we're putting the penalty back. You guys are not.
Is the cold sorceress the ultimate the skill? Is it penalized?
Mastery is negative enemy resistance, so it doesn't get applied a penalty to it, no.
Okay.
Because anything that doesn't actually break an immunity doesn't get applied a penalty. So negative enemy resistance doesn't break immunities. It never has, never will, and because of that, it doesn't have a penalty applied to it because it doesn't actually even go that far. Cold Mastery doesn't break resistances either. So even if you had like level 72 Cold Mastery, the monster, if they're cold immune, they're still going to be cold immune.
Right.
So there's no reason to apply a penalty to something that doesn't actually work against those monsters. Lower resistance and conviction have such high values because they do apply to immune monsters and they do have a penalty. So they basically decided that, you know, they weren't going to let us have our cake and eat it too. They're not allowed. Which is fine for me because, quite honestly, it was a little broken. You got to imagine that that conviction applies negative 150% resistance. So you wouldn't even need negative enemy resistance equipment. You wouldn't even had to put on anything. You could have literally just been using conviction and a lightning charm and running, you know, like dual dreams, and you would have broke every single monster down by 150%. So the monster would have went from 95% to, what is that, basically negative 45%. My quick maths are always terrible, but I think I got that one right. So you're looking at like negative 45% just for running conviction with no other piece of equipment involved.
That's a good change then.
Now it would be more like 95% minus 30, so you're looking at 65%, which is still killable. You could still totally kill a lightning immune monster at that point, because breaking the resistance down to 95 and then reducing it by 30 to 65 is more than enough to be able to kill a monster with. And if you were to add in something like Crescent Moon, which is negative 35%, you'd go down even further, you know, to like 30% resistance. And most monsters at 30% resistance are particularly easy to kill. I mean, they're not zero, of course, but you're certainly not going to have any issues killing them. Is negative enemy resistance or on something with any resistance above 100 effectively just a multiplier based on the negative resistance? No, it just divides. It divides the resistance negative of the effect of the actual ability by 5. So it's 20% effectiveness. So no matter what level conviction you have or what level lower resistance you have, it's always 20% effectiveness, even if conviction has already broken the resistance, by the way. So this is something that I tested in excess previously before all this. If you apply conviction to a target and conviction breaks the immunity, so let's say the monster is immune to lightning and conviction breaks that immunity so that the monster is now no longer immune to lightning, and then you apply lower resistance still is applied under the penalty. It doesn't get to apply in the full version. All skills that break immunities are supposed to be applied a penalty, and that's basically all they did, was they just restored the penalty to conviction and lower resistance. Now, I'm assuming they also restored the penalty to amplify damage and decrepify, which they didn't mention, but I'm going to have to assume they did. Let's see if we can take a look at this on a character. The Posts of Blueness.
Bluey Posterson.
I don't see any new blue posts. Just the same old blue posts. Yeah, basically, that's the one of the red things that was in. We already went over that and talked about it earlier. We actually pulled up the patch notes and showed them on live stream. Let me grab an infinity, shall I? Oh yeah, an infinity. I have a couple of infinities here.
I wonder if this drops the value of infinity.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. I mean, infinity will always be valuable, but yes, this totally drops the value of infinity. Mm. I mean, it doesn't really affect Cold Sorceress at all. She didn't need the infinity to begin with. She never did, really. I'm trying to think what character I can test this on to get a good
Well, dang,
test out of
Cold
it.
Sort just got a bump in the tier list then.
Yeah, Cold Sorc. Well, Cold Sorc didn't move at all. She just kind of stayed stationary.
Well, if everybody else goes down a notch, she goes up a notch, you know. If she's unaffected.
I never liked relying on my mercenary for like the ability to kill monsters anyway.
Wonder if that lowers the viability a little bit of the fire druid.
I mean, Fire Druid's half physical, so it doesn't even really matter.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to figure out some way to break the physical immunities too.
Yeah. Well, physical Sunder Charm on top of the fire.
No, the penalty is probably not going to apply to Cold Mastery because it never has. We were just talking about that. It never has and probably never will apply to Cold Mastery because it doesn't break immunities. The penalty only applies to the curses and the abilities that specifically break immunities. They have to be able to break an immunity for the penalty to apply. Amplify damage breaks physical immunity. Decrepify breaks physical immunity. Lower resistance breaks poison, lightning, fire, and ice. And conviction breaks fire, lightning, and ice. So, you know, those are the ones that actually can break resistances. So that's why they're getting applied penalties. Cold Mastery just doesn't break resistances. It's part of the biggest issue with Cold Mastery for the longest time is that despite Cold Mastery being amazing and applying huge negative numbers to the monster's resistance, well, it doesn't really do anything for the Sorceress, though, because she can't actually break the immunities. I don't have enough equipment to actually outfit him, do I? I got some facets, though. Let's go with a fire build real quick.
I think facets will go up in value by a lot. Even the 3/3s.
I mean, they were already going to go up in value a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's going to go up even more. It was already pretty much my synopsis that pretty much all negative enemy fire resistance or enemy resistance equipment in general was going to go up in value by quite a lot. You'll probably see a lot of lightning sorceresses using crescent moons early on. That negative 35% enemy lightning is absolutely clutch.
If you threw a javelin and then you swapped weapons to a crescent moon, would the javelin do more lightning damage?
I mean, it's been tested. It's been tested with the plague javelin that Death's Web does that. So yeah, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. I never really bothered with it, to be honest, but I do believe it works. Yes.
I'll put that to good use.
I ain't got no helmet for him. He'll be alright. He'll be alright. He'll be okay. Let's do a fireball sorceress. Let's play around with a fireball. Alright, so firebolt and meteor. And of course, max fire mastery, which leaves us with 1 point left. Why do we only have... Oh, because I put 20 points in warmth. I might have to redo that. Let me go ahead and grab teleport first and static. And frozen armor. Yeah, I got 16 points left. Yeah, that's not bad. Trying to think what the hell I even want. I could probably grab 1 point enchant just so I have a an enchant for my merc. Come here, Emilio. Take your enchant.
Emilio.
That's right, I need to grab her the Sunder Charm. She has no equipment, by the way. She does have Infinity, though. Eh. Today counts as a day, does it not? Who doesn't count the day that you're on? You wake up at 8 a.m. in the morning and you immediately just discount that entire day. You've got to go through the day before you can count that day out of the way. Fireballs. I need some monsters that are immune to fire to test this properly. Go to River of Flame. It's a good spot. Thursdays and 3 days only if you don't count today. Why are you guys going to argue with me over how many days it is till literally ladder? Today, the 3rd. Tomorrow, the 4th. The next day, the 5th. Ladder day, the 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys are arguing over some dumb stuff.
What about ladder being less than 3.5 days?
Get some fire immunes. No, cold immune, cold immune. Let's go. I'm trying to think like the easiest place for fire immunes. I guess Dark Wood. Or Stony Field. I ain't take your time zone into account, Atticus. I'm going off of my time zone.
And it releases at the same time for everyone. Just different times based on where you're at, I guess. But still the same time.
And also, if you want to get technical, it doesn't even launch until basically like the end of the night for me. So it doesn't launch in the morning. It launches at basically the end of the day, like when the sun goes down.
High noon somewhere in the world.
Who knew finding fire immunes would be so difficult? Ow.
Oh my god.
Fireball sorks are pretty powerful. Stonyfield it is then. Why do I get like the worst spawn map for fire immunes? Like lightning immunes, poison immunes, cold immunes, everything immune but no fire. This is like a fire sork's like wet dream. There's really no fire immunes in Stonyfield. Okay, let's go even further down the rabbit hole, shall we? Firemen's. This character is very poorly built. He's still wrecking the fire moons.
Ooh, Safe Cam 360 is kind of cool looking. It screws into your light bulb socket, and it's a 360 degree camera that requires no subscription or nothing. Just connect to the Wi-Fi. That's amazing.
Wi-Fi devices. I ran into an issue with those. You can only have so many of them before your router starts to spaz out and like basically think that you're an idiot. Like every single device that you have connected to your router counts as like another device, and more than a certain number of devices, and your router starts to have a heart attack. So if you have like a whole bunch of smart light bulbs and every single one of them is Wi-Fi, and you got like Alexas and all sorts of crazy stuff throughout your house, before too long your router like just won't connect to them anymore because there's too many devices trying to connect to the router at any given time. One or two of those might be alright, but you definitely couldn't do like a large number, especially if you already have a large number of devices in the house, or if you have like a really big family, like in general.
That's amazing, though. No wires or nothing.
Ow.
I'm gonna be honest with you, even with the infinity buff, I can still pretty much kill just about anything. What players count am I running at though? Let me double check.
1.
I doubt it. Oh yeah, I'm at players 3. Let's bump it up to players 8. Of course, this is with no negative enemy fire resistance. Yeah, I'm not using any negative enemy fire resistance equipment at all. And my gear is far, far in excess of subpar. I'm using a Iron Jangbong staff, by the way. It doesn't really have the, like, monster count density to really be all that great. This boy's fire enchanted. Fireball's kind of broken OP anyway, because it has that micro stun. Everybody always yells at me when I say it has a micro stun. It does have a micro stun. I don't care what any of you guys say. Whenever you attack anybody with Fireball, like it almost immediately stops them, causes them to go through a hit recovery animation, and then they can return to what they're doing. And if you attack fast enough with Fireball, like literally they never leave the hit recovery animation. It's always been a great delight to me when using that skill. Let's respect to lightning, shall we?
58 more hours.
Not in town.
58 more hours. Counted down by the hours. I should probably add a countdown timer to my streams. It's always funny. 7 million hours to go.
It is 58 hours, though, isn't it? About that much? That sounds like 4 days to me. Sounds like 2.5, but, 4 days is good.
Come on, where are all those lightning immunes? There's a whole bunch of lightning immunes around here earlier. No.
Countdown to Ladder Season 2. 4 days, or 50-something hours. Thanks for giving me a pretty good chuckle. You're both right and wrong at the same time. Because the day's not over. And the day it releases is a full day.
Fanaticism.
The Sisterhood welcomes you. Yes? Not in town.
Back to work.
Work. Righto.
Ow. Oh, nice. I have a cool negative 100% resistance. What the hell is that? Is that my body?
Hit the floor.
I've never seen my body appear on the map like that before. It usually shows a name. And it's the same color as the terror zones. You don't see that?
Ooh, another
It's a
feature?
little strange.
I am overburdened.
It's a little strange.
Sounds like another hidden feature.
Did I accidentally... Oh, yeah, I never put my points in. That's probably why I died, actually, now that I think about it. I was like, why did I die? That doesn't make any sense.
But you didn't get the point.
I didn't put any points in.
Fun,
I do
fun.
that all the time. I'll go out and I'll, like, die on a barbarian, and I'll be like, oh, okay, well...
That's
I only had, like, 200 HP. I was doing pretty good for 200 HP, I'm not gonna lie.
that's how I lost my level 86 hardcore paladin.
You didn't put in your
I,
HP?
I respect, put in just enough strength to wear my gear, just enough dex to get enough block rate, and then went out and forgot to put in my vitality points. Knock it up.
Emilio, no.
Lasted for about 30 seconds.
It's rather unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure those Vile Lancers were immune to lightning. Take my charm off real quick just to double check, but... Back off me, suckers.
So how am I going to lower the fire resistance to mobs if Infinity isn't that great?
By using negative enemy resistance.
All of my items well enough.
You know, it's funny you say that, because there happens to be this YouTuber on YouTube who has like a whole guide on items. Where he goes over all
in a
of
while.
them.
Hang on.
And you know, he talks about like the benefits of those particular items on characters, you know? Just check him out.
I'll watch all the videos.
His name is Yellow Bus Trent. Or was it Orange Hamster Greg? You know, I can't remember.
Greg. You know what? I'm making a picture of Orange Hamster Greg. I'll be back.
Let's get to work.
Orange Hamster Greg. And then I'm gonna send it to you. Hang on. This won't take me long. I'll just use my AI.
Orange Hamster Greg.
Imagine.
If I can only imagine what Orange Hamster Greg looks like. It's probably beside himself.
I'm even gonna make him look as evil as and menacing as I can.
Ow. Lightning. I have no lightning resistance. Stop murdering me. My lightning damage is pathetic. No! Player's 8 scarabs are too much for me. Honestly, it didn't even really seem that bad. And, I mean, this character is, like, very poorly geared, and she was still able to kill most of those monsters. Honestly, a character who's properly geared, that has, like, Crescent Moon and things like that, would just eat right through him with an Infinity. Even in wearing the Infinity would have, obviously, a huge benefit for, like, most sorceresses. I mean, I could just grab one of these Infinities and put it on, and it would have a huge change in my damage output.
Alright, I'm generating it. I'm not even gonna make it in the art style of Diablo.
Gonna make it in the art style of Diablo.
Maybe put a fire gem or something in his forehead. Hell hamster.
That's right, Hell Hamster.
I can't use this yet.
No, I got it backwards. I'm an idiot.
You're so mean to yourself.
Now I have Infinity myself. I still have the charm on? I do still have the charm. Ow! Ow! I need a minion! And these guys are like extra lightning resistant. Yeah, I mean even a 13k lightning sword can effectively kill these guys with an Infinity. And that's very subpar gear, no faster cast. Literally just being a douche and just running around with an Infinity, and they could still pull it off. With a properly geared character, I have no problem whatsoever. Honestly, I don't even really see it as that big of a nerf. Like, the Sunder Charms are just kind of broken in the way that they allow you to kill immune monsters. Go have some more fun in the pit before the pit ceases to be the pit. Oh, man. Infinity is the most broken rune word in the game? Yeah, I think so. I mean, pretty much, like, makes your character, like, ridiculous just by having it. You can even wear it on most lightning characters to get ridiculous effect. It's a good thing they put it in a two-handed weapon. Otherwise, it would be even more broken. If they had put it in a one-handed weapon, you'd see all sorts of crazy stuff going on. Alright, let's do some more pits. The stanky pits. Let's go to the stanky pits. Let's go to the stanky pits. Let's go deep down in the stankiest of pits. I mean, Nadir's good because it has the Cloak of Shadows. If you guys have never actually abused the Cloak of Shadows before, it's pretty sick. Especially early on. You can pretty much use it to do anything. Makes all the monsters ignore you. As long as you don't go touch their belly button, you're usually fine. Beefs up your defense too when you use it. Level 97, Michael.
I am overloaded.
Wow, 30 to life. That's actually kind of nice. Doesn't have anything else on it, though.
I can't carry it.
This is not a good thing, Mandarin. It's not a good thing. Oh, 35 life. Do not leave your belly button open for consideration.
Naval Hell Ginger Rat. Or
What? Naval oranges? Naval oranges are called naval oranges because they have belly buttons.
and they use them in the Navy so you don't get scurvy. Vitamin C.
Potatoes are great for that.
Yes, they are.
The underutilized potato.
There's your Hell Ginger Hamster I sent you.
You sent me
Freshly
a
made
hell
just for you.
ginger hamster.
Yes.
Oh, he's cute. I like him. There you go. Orange hell hamster. That's a channel name right there. I know you guys want to see the hamster. I know you guys are jealous. You want to see the hamster. There you go. Here's the hamster. Ready? 3, 2, 1. There you go. Demon hamster. There you go. All for you. I know you guys love it.
I can't carry it anymore.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Take it home with you. Watch out. He's a little spicy. Alright, it's a little spicy.
My eyes are burning.
Good. I'm glad your eyes are burning.
Yeah. Oh, and I was challenged to make a picture of you with your hamster using my AI. And I did. It just didn't come out as great as I thought it would be. But I will share it with you.
It looks like me. All right, I'll take it. He's cute.
Doesn't.
He's cute. I don't even care. Sure, why
So,
not? You thought it was an insult, but truly it was a compliment. You only wish you were that furry and soft and cute. And that all the girls would want to go squeak and run up and pet you. See? See? Now you wish you were the orange hell hamster. Don't you feel silly? Quill rats. Dang dirty quill rats. How furry are you? Some are, some aren't. Depends on the breed. Depends highly on the breed. Die. Some hamsters are pretty chill. Some hamsters are mean. I've definitely seen my fair share of hamsters in my life. Probably more than you guys have ever seen. Not bragging or anything. Not
But I've seen more
bragging.
hamsters than you.
I doubt it.
I work at a pet store for the last 5 years.
I don't know. I bred hamsters for a long time, so it might be
See, about-
it might be a contest.
Let's see, 10 new hamsters a day for 5 years. Let's do that
They
calculation.
really put out some numbers, I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
I had
they-
one mother hamster. Literally, she gave birth to about 18 hamsters. I think it was actually more than that. I didn't get like an accurate count because she kept like moving them around. But she ate like freaking like 7 of them.
Keep your nutrients up.
Apparently, she was hungry.
Hamsters are pretty territorial from what I'm reading.
Yeah, they are. They like to kill other hamsters that enter their territory.
We keep telling people that when they buy them, we're like, hey, you know, you should only get one per habitat. And they're like, oh, it'll be fine. They were born together. I'm like, yeah, but as soon as they get a little older, they're going to start braining each other.
My nieces got hamsters, and I was literally trying to tell them, trying to like warn them in advance that you don't keep them in the same cage; they'll multiply like crazy. They're like no, it'll be fine. And I'm like, look, separate the males and the females from each other. If you don't, within a very short period of time, they will have babies, and then those babies will have babies, and those babies will have babies. And before you know it, you will be up to your eyeballs in hamsters or gerbils, whatever it is. And they were like, yeah, Daniel, you don't know everything. A couple months later. Our
Do they not
gerbils
suffer from
having
genetic
babies, and there
deformities
was like
when
6
they're
of
inbred so
them.
much?
Of course there's going to be genetic deformities if they inbreed too much. Doesn't mean they won't still interbreed.
True.
Especially if they're in the same cage together.
So my AI is kind of smart and dumb at the same time. It doesn't know how to draw faces, and it doesn't know how to differentiate 2 pictures amalgamated into one. Or if I try to tell it to put a hamster and a person together, it tries to turn the person into a hamster or vice versa. But this is as close as I got for you.
What? What are you sending me now?
Oh, it's cute and menacing and kind of like a painting.
I don't know what that even is. It worries my soul, exactly. Is that supposed to be my chinchilla down there?
Oh, it's supposed to be, but it didn't work out for me. And then the face is all distorted and whatever.
Stare
don't stare in its eyes long enough, too long,
That,
and that'd be all right.
that disfigured thing down there needs a little bit of work. I don't.
Yeah, dude. The AI's dumb, like I said.
This is something that I went over recently in my my video comparing all the shields, and Royal Shield actually has among the best like block chances, way better than the Vortex Shield. It actually makes one of the best bases for a lot of lower end shields. Whereas Vortex makes like none of it's not a good base for anything, unfortunately. Superior Grim Shield. 2 sockets. Anybody need a really good base for a rhyme?
Ooh, piece of candy.
Lycanders. Lycanders aim. The Charms got nerfed? No, Conviction got nerfed.
Canders. I thought canders didn't lie.
No, Lycanders lies. I don't really think the Charms really got changed all that much. I mean, unless you're a Conviction Paladin, or a very rich person who has access to an Infinity, which are 2 very rare things, they're pretty much still exactly the same as they were before. Lycanders, not Lysanders. Lysander is the potion vendor in Act 2. Lycander is an angel. 2 completely different people. 2 completely different people.
Never hear myself. Now that I can, I just realized how thick my accent was. It's horrible.
Why are you listening to yourself?
I don't know. Never listened to myself before. Don't know why I would start now.
I mean, I do it because it's my job, but I mean, you don't really have to.
I just had the stream going.
Well, yeah, but usually when you're in voice chat, you just mute the stream.
I just turned it all the way down almost.
I say, wait, what? You have an accent? What accent?
No, 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 no.
My mom has no accent because she was born 70% deaf. People like literally can't understand. Like it breaks their brains. She talks and they're like, "You have a weird accent. I can't place." It's like she actually has no accent because she never picked one up.
Oh, then she has her own accent.
She just talks normally.
That's what people would sound like if they didn't know people.
Accents can be can rub off on you too if you go live somewhere for a long period
Oh
of
my
time.
God. I don't even have to live somewhere for a long time. If a southerner gets near me, it's over. It's absolutely over.
You're just gonna start speaking Southern, just
It-
if he
it's
talk
hor-
if he's in your general vicinity.
Yes. It just brings it out. I don't know.
Highly susceptible person we have here.
Yes. I'm a chameleon.
He's gonna start saying "do-jank" next.
And do jank.
Do-jank.
Why I started picking
Yonta?
that up when you started using it.
That's right. Yonta. I used to love messing with people. I'd be like, "Gee, yeah."
Yet don't suppose you guys want to do some of that do jank around here.
Nah. It goes even further than that. Gee, yeah. Nah, G. Yonta. Aight.
You wanna?
Gee, yeah. Nah, G. Yonta. Aight.
You wanna?
Y'all
Speaking
catch that?
tongues.
Or got to praise to Jesus.
Gee, yeah. Hey, did you eat yet? Is a lot harder to say than gee yet.
Gee yet.
And you want to is a lot harder to say than yonta.
Like the Jeff Foxworthy skit. Would you, did you?
Well, could you ain't you gonna if I asked you would you wanna?
And nah, Jew is a hell of a lot easier to say than nah, did you?
You know what else is just easy to say? I call it innuendo. My brother-in-law Bob is way down indicator.
I should probably make a video on the new changes, but I don't feel like it.
You gotta do it before anyone else do it.
It's already up. I'm sure there's quite a few people who have already posted about it. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
live
Johnny.
streaming, so I already talked about it in the live stream, but
That's true.
You're always one of the big ones that does them early, though.
Yep.
you know,
We rely on
You
you.
don't see Dobrunsky or Cooley or anybody putting stuff out like saying,
Who's to Brunsky?
well, that's
Nobody
because
knows
if you're
who
that's because if
Brunsky
you're not first, you're last. Okay,
Ricky Bobby.
if you're not first, you're last.
Shake and
Claws. Nah, nothing good.
"Rare Thresher." Probably garbage, but
Oh, you always gotta check the rare items because they can be like really good. Everybody always leaves them on the ground. I don't know why. Some of the rare items can be better than the uniques, and even some of them can even be better than the rune words. Just depends. They have to roll like they have to roll perfect.
Gobby rolls. Like my belly.
Like the one time I was literally ran Travancore behind one of our kinship members, and he left some rare gloves on the ground, and I was like, "Who left these rare gloves here? You guys are silly." And I identified them, and they were literally +2 Jav, 20% IS, dual res, with 22% magic find. They were like the best gloves I'd ever seen, just left in the dirt. Blows my mind. Probably those gloves probably could have gotten at least a burr rune, if not more, for them.
Oh, more than that.
Just because they had magic find and +2 and all the other nice things. Nice little crown of thieves.
Who is it on the Discord that just said they got 10 burr runes for that 32019?
32019.
Small charm?
Oh, 320s usually do go for a pretty hefty amount. I would expect, quite honestly, a lot of the 11s going for a lot, though, coming up soon. Like the cold 11s and the fire 11s and the lightning 11s
movement
and
speed
whatnot. Those are going to
11s.
be pretty valuable coming up.
That? I've got a few of those.
They're going to have other things on them, though. But the 11s by themselves will be valuable. But then the 11s with something else, like 1120s, those will be even more valuable.
What do you
My
think is going to be
Javzon
the
has a good
most
one.
valuable 11?
Probably the cold. Fire is rather easy to like balance out, especially since a lot of people are going to be using
There you go.
flickering flames. It's going to be pretty
There-
common. But
There's that one.
cold, not so much. You're going to need people. There's going to be a lot of 11% colds running around, and the lightnings also. Yeah, like that one right there with
Why
when the
couldn't
Thunder
I
Charm
have that
comes out.
charm for next season?
No.
Yeah, I found that early. I've been rocking that all season.
Alright, I guess let's do a video. I'm gonna have to hop out of voice chat here. Bink.
Bye.
Alright, so we're gonna do a video real quick on these new changes. Why not? I can post it up, that way everybody can get an idea of it. And people can stop messaging me and going, "Did you see?" Not that I don't appreciate it, but I did see them. I did see them. Burp, burp, burp. Did you see the patch notes? I want you to see them, yes. Come and see the patch notes tonight. Let's see here. I just need to get this set up properly so that I can actually make the video. Bink, bink, bink. Double, triple, quadruple, bink. Did you see the patch notes tonight? Or is it tomorrow? Because we're not sure what day it is. Alright, you guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Hello guys and gals, and welcome. We got a small update today on the patch notes. Not a whole lot here, but definitely some important tidbits that we can go over. Everything that is updated is in red, so only the red things have been updated. Everything that's in white is the same as we have seen many, many days and many, many times before. The first patch note that we have that is written in red is all the way down here in the fixes, and it states, fixed an issue where item labels would stretch and become distorted while the character menu was open. Fixed an issue that prevented players with underscores in their offline character's name from playing a game, and fixed an issue that allowed for character movement while in the loading screen. This is a rather interesting one, and I'm not really sure what the hell this entails, because I do know that you can like run around and stuff while you're, kind of like, loading. And does this mean that they actually fixed it so that you're not like susceptible to damage while you're loading, or is it just you can't move around while you're loading, but now the monsters can still beat you up? I hope the monster still can't beat you up, because moving while you're in the loading screen was one of the only ways that you could prevent the monsters from beating you up while you were loading in. Like, you would click off, like, you would deliberately click off to the top to try and make your character run away from the monsters that were, like, camping the waypoint. And then we have something else down here. We have made additional improvements to localization translation, so that's, you know, like multiple languages. And then we also have the Sundering Charm changes. So we have Conviction and Lower Resistance effectiveness will be at 1/5 effective even after Sundering Charms applied effects. This change will go into effect on October 6th once Ladder Season 2 begins. So basically what this means is that as we had discussed with the Sundering Charms before, the breaking of the immunity was allowing the Conviction and Lower Resistance to apply at full effectiveness. They are restoring the penalty, not nerfing it. They're just restoring the penalty. The penalty has always been 1/5 effectiveness versus immunes. So it's not really so much a nerf as it is just simply, hey, you know, we made a mistake. The penalty is still supposed to apply, so we're just fixing it so the penalty actually still does apply. What this means in a nutshell, wrapped in an enigma, is that Conviction will be applied at 20% of its effectiveness. Whatever the rated value is, you basically divide that by 5, and that will get your effective value. Conviction at its maximum is negative 150%. And if you apply that penalty to Conviction at 150%, you get a 30% negative resistance. Lower resistance also has the same penalty and goes down to 14% from 70%. Lower convictions, like the kind of conviction that comes from Infinity, is only 17%. So it's definitely a lot lower than the 30% from a full bore conviction. Now, what does this mean? Well, this means that negative enemy resistance items will be far more valuable than getting yourself an Infinity. So facets, cold facets, fire facets, lightning facets, poison facets are going to be a much higher value. Crescent Moon, you know, Griffin's Eye Diadem, Wizen Draw, all those items that have negative enemy resistance on them are going to be a lot more valuable now than they are before, because you're going to need more negative enemy resistance to counter the resistance that a monster has. We also have fixed an issue where the UI would not properly display chance to hit against higher terror zone level monsters. So this is an interesting one. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but the character panel has never accurately showed chance to hit, not even once. So when you hold your mouse over your chance to hit, like right now it says I have a 91% chance to hit a Devilkin. This is not the correct number and has never been the correct number because the level difference between the monster and you causes you to have a higher miss chance than what is actually reported here. This number that's reported is if the monster is the same level as you are. So if the Devilkin is level 97, like I am, then that hit chance is actually 91%. But if the monster is level 99, then there is a penalty that's being applied. The higher level the monster is, the greater the penalty is, and so basically the character panel has never actually been reporting the correct value, especially when you're going up against a really high level monster like Bale or Uber Diablo or Uber, you know, Mephisto or something like that are like in excess of like level 100, sometimes even as high as level 110. So you basically have a higher miss chance than what is actually reported. So it's very interesting that hopefully what this means is that now the level difference between me and a monster will now accurately be reported in the character panel. I'm actually kind of excited about that because then we'll actually know what our real miss chance is or what our real hit chance is, which is something that we've never really accurately known unless you wanted to go run the calculation, you know, on a calculator, because it's kind of a complicated calculation. Fixed an issue where Terror Zone warning messages were inconsistently populating. I don't really know what that one's about. Added an indication next to the auto map to inform the player where the current Terror Zone is specifically located. And then there's also some interesting changes to the monstats.txt file, as well as some changes to the skills.txt file, the superuniques.txt file, and the treasure class ex.txt file. So this is for you modders out there. It's in the modding category. So if you're interested in modding the game, it does look like we have some new interesting things that have been added to the modification files. Specifically, as you can see, passive stats, desecrated monsters. So desecrated, normal, nightmare, and hell. I'm pretty sure that's what the N and the H stand for, is normal, nightmare, and hell. And then same thing here. You can see we have N and H, and then we have no H. So this is most likely treasure class 1 is normal, treasure class 1N is nightmare, and H is most likely hell. So this is literally just treasure class changes for normal, nightmare, and hell difficulty. Skills that are be adding, I'm assuming that these are actually the Sunder Charms. That's what I would assume. We're probably looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, right? This is for us. And then I would assuming that the other 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, are probably for the minions. I would assume that those are for the minions, because they made some changes to allow the minions to be able to be affected by the Sunder Charms as well. That's just my guess, though. I could be wrong. And then, of course, we have the super uniques in normal, nightmare, and hell difficulty as well that are now desecrated. And then we have the treasure class EX, which has added the ladder mechanic. And that's pretty much it. There was nothing else. I even checked to see if there was anything else on the on the secret, the Ottendorf cipher that we've discovered. Which, by the way, there's no really new news on the Ottendorf cipher. We seem to have stalled. We still have not found number 26 on the Ottendorf cipher. Not really sure what the hell's going on with number 26. We don't think number 26 actually exists within the files anymore. Like, they're not giving it to us. So, anyway, this was just always going to be a short video. There's really not a lot to go over here, but I did want to give you guys an update on the current changes for patch 2.5 Ladder Season 2. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, and be sure to hit that thumbs up button, that like button, because it really helps. There you go. Done. Done. Now I'm going to upload it, and I'm going to lag out the stream. So I hope you guys are happy. I hope you guys are happy, because I'm going to upload it right now, and I'm going to lag the whole stream out, and I hope you guys cry your little eyeballs out at the one frame that you guys are going to get for the next 10 minutes while I upload this video. You guys are excited. D2R 2.5 updated patch notes October 3rd. Conviction and LR NLT restored. Always happy when I lag up the stream? Well, I will lag up the stream more often, Mandarin. I will lag it up as many times as you require. You want me to lag it up every day? Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm over here just like clicking buttons as fast as I can. I need a thumbnail. That's what I need. I need a thumbnail. Should it be a happy thumbnail? Should it be a sad thumbnail? Should it be a thumbnail of horrible abuse, where I like punch myself in the eye? I mean, thumbnails are thumbnails, my friends. You just invested 12 burr runes in your Amazon? It's a lot of burr runes to invest in an Amazon. Indifferent? How indifferent should it be? Questionnaire thumb drill? Here, let's just do a real big thumbnail. How about that? Here, hold on. Like this, and then like this, and then we'll go like, I don't know, let's see. Let's do how's that one look? That one looks good, right? You guys love that one. That's the best. That's the best kind of thumbnail right there. Yes. Oh, yes. Crinkled nose and everything. I know you guys love that. That'll really draw them in. Either that or break their computer monitors. One or the other, but one or the other. People will start to press the dislike button. That sounds like fun, actually. I'd like to see that a little bit. Why not? Show your disdain for my mortality. How dare you not be the immortal? The immortal king. Where's my doojank at? There it is. Thumbnail upload. See? Thumbnail. You guys aren't allowed to see my thumbnails. You guys are not allowed to see the Danger Dan thumbnails. What's up, Brandon? I am just living my best life, Brandon. That's what I'm doing. I'm living my best life. That face, though. I'm just gonna put a really dramatic on here. I'm gonna put conviction nerfed. Conviction and lower resistance nerfed. No! Oh no, they've been nerfed. Conviction and LR nerfed. Oh no. Oh no. I don't even care. Everybody's gonna click on it and be like, no. Use the crying in advance. We're gonna cry. Oh no, we're crying. Here you go, boys. It's public. There you go. Public. There you go. Sharing the link so you guys can throw me some thumbs up. I need to put it in the news updates. In the news updates to do jank. Where's the news update? There it is. Nerf teleport. Who else are we nerfing? Why has somebody dropped their Roger Cube on the ground? Anybody killed the cows yet? Pretty much what I assumed, Rubenal. I mean, I kind of went over it. I knew I didn't have it all exactly correct, but I pretty much pretty much kind of went over what they were for. Ruvenal was the one who got us the Sunder Charms, by the way, for single player. Which you don't want you guys to say hello to Ruvenal. What's up, Cow King? I'm immune to everything, I see. Nervous life choices? What are we? What? The drop mechanics? What did they change in the drop mechanics, Ruvenal? Let us know. Did they change the clickables so they no longer drop TC-87 items? Or are you looking at the drop mechanics for the Sunder Charms? Yeah, take your time, Ruvenal. We're just hanging out, having fun. Hanging out, having fun, waiting for ladder. Waiting for ladder, gonna have some fun. Waiting for ladder on the run. We only have seconds? Why do we only have seconds? What is going on in this world? Why? Oh yeah, I forgot to post my video on my usual websites that I usually post my video on. Let me go do that real quick before I forget. All the dislikes. Let's go. I don't even care. Let's go. No. My face in that picture, though. I don't even care. I made the ugliest face I possibly could. It worked pretty well. I'm impressed. Every 10th buyer will get a free Sunder Charm? I like it. You have to sell 6 cars. If you sell 6 cars, then you can get your Sunder Charm free. It's a Ponzi scheme. If you had the Sunder Charm and I had the Conviction, yes, the 1/5 penalty still applies. It doesn't matter who applies the Conviction, the 1/5 penalty is still applying. So at this point, we can pretty much assume without a shadow of a doubt that lower resistance and Conviction will still apply their 1/5 penalty versus immunes, no matter what the scenario is. No matter who is applying the Conviction, no matter who is applying the lower resistance, it's always going to be a 1/5 penalty on immune monsters, no matter what. Are they domestic cars? No, they're like military vehicles. You've got to sell military vehicles. But you can't sell them to the military. That's the catch. Like, you've got to sell the military vehicle to a civilian family. They're expensive, by the way. Spider Forest weaves too much. There's too much weaving. Basket weaving, path weaving, tree weaving. It's too much weaving. Tanks also? No, just, well, I mean, yeah, you know what? Yeah, sure, why not? Oh my gosh! Oh no! Been a while since I caught your stream. By the way, will you be posting what gears or build you used throughout season 1? I mean, this is my character. Like, this is my Godzilla. I've talked about him like a million times, but I guess it could be interesting to do a little video on like my season 1 build. My season 1 summer child? Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, the champs, uniques, etc. that will drop the charms are currently set to drop 1 charm every kill. And then the remainder of the drop after that up to 6 items per drop. What? A flood of charms 2 to 3 hours into ladder?
Carry anymore.
So they're going to make them extremely common. Is basically what you're saying. That seems rather not cool. Hey, some silk weaves. Oh no, marrow walks. Ooh, +2 marrow walks at that. Nice. Any necromancers need some marrow walks? I don't know why they would make them that common. That seems a little weird. Seems very weird to make them that common. Is there anything in there about what level you need to be to actually get your hands on one? It's got to be hell difficulty. Rivenal is a hacker. He's probably like looking in the game code. I wouldn't expect a link. He's the one that basically exported the Sunder Charms for us so that we could have them in single player. So he's probably going through the actual game data and finding out this information. He's a hacker, boys. Only the hell difficulty, so you won't be able to get one until hell difficulty, which does pose a problem for the classes that are going to run into issues early on. I mean, a charm every drop seems a little excessive. Like, I mean, if that's the case, they're going to be littering the floor to the point where, like, nobody's even going to pick them up. That doesn't seem logical to me. Like every champion pack, there's like 6 or 7 champion packs per zone. You're talking about, like, literally like 6 or 7 charms per area, to the point where literally, like, you would just be absolutely flooded with them before too long. I mean, yeah, if they're that common, it's pretty much perfect or bust at that point. That seems it just seems so unlikely. Why would they flood the game with them? It just seems so unlikely. Like you're talking about like a level the drop rate that you're talking about, Ruvenal, is literally like so bad that people will be throwing them away. Like imagine if you just had like so much money that you just didn't even know what to do with it, and you were just like just throwing it out in the front yard because you didn't have anywhere to put it in your house. Like that's how ridiculously high that particular rate is. It's like to the point where literally you would be dropping them in free games. Like you would just be you might pick them up and drop them in free games, and you might just leave them in the dirt where they belong. Like that's how ridiculously common they would be. I mean, are you sure it's not like guaranteed to drop if like a condition is met, which might be a little bit more rare? You know, like the torch is a guaranteed drop, but you gotta like fulfill certain conditions. Although we weren't told of any conditions. I wonder if it's really the accurate number, and if they're not just trolling us. I mean, because they're obviously going to pop another patch, like right on the 6th, right? You know, like a couple hours before ladder hits, they're going to pop another patch on us, and that's going to be the one that actually activates the ladder, and could change a couple more things within those files. I just don't know if maybe these numbers are accurate, because that doesn't sound accurate to me. Like I know you're reporting me the correct values, Ruvenal. I'm just thinking in my head that it sounds to me like something that they would do just to troll us for looking into the files, and then on launch day they would put the actual like drop rates in there. Yeah, this is what today's patch shows. Let me hop back into Discord chat. I forgot I hopped out earlier, of course, because I was doing something else. What's the matter, Cody? Why you look like that? What's the matter, buddy? What's the matter? Tell me all about your bad day. Tell me about your day. What's the matter? Did the squirrel eat your food? Did one of the cats poop on your blanket? Did you have a terrible day? Terrible, terrible. Let's see. Ruvnall's over here in one of the voice chats. Let's go take a look at his stream real quick.
Hello.
What's up, Ruvnall?
Hey, let me get one of these sounds.
So, is there any way you could show me the file real quick so I could look at it?
I'm trying to show you because I got to jump around between files. I put up on sharing screen in that Discord channel.
Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at right now.
Okay, that is the monster stat. And this is only a part of it because I've got it slid over quite far, but you can see that like skeletons, Act 1, they have an Act 1 H unique drop, but if it's desecrated, they use a different treasure class, Act 1 H Champion A.
Yeah,
desecrated.
I was noticing all that. Every single one of the monsters now has a different desecrated.
Yeah.
There was desecrated, normal, nightmare, and hell difficulty on all the lists.
Right. Right. The only ones they gave anything extra to was the hell. They're the only ones that got a new designation, which is the...
So these Thunder Charms are not going to be limited by monster level. They're going to be limited by the desecrated ability.
They're going to be on these desecrated. Now, at this point, I need to switch over the view to the treasure class X. Now, let's see here. So jump around from tab to tab. There we go.
He has a loud morning voice. You apparently have a morning voice.
Not too far off, but might have just adjusted sound I'm sending through this thing. I've got to do it to a lot of people that pop into some of my channels. Okay. Get onto the right spreadsheet myself. Because I was pulling up all these to look at them, see what they were doing in them. All right, at this point, they added a new line into the treasure class thing. I was a little surprised at where they did it. It's ladder only. There's a flag way at the end. And what it is it says Sunder Charm. When we ask for Sunder Charm, we drop one Sunder Charm. There's a no drop chance of 0. So it's whenever it calls it, it's going to drop a Sunder Charm. And then it's going to be randomly one of those other Sunder Charms actually listed in the file there. Cold Flame, Crack of Heavens, Rotting Fisher. There's going to be a 1 in 6 chance it's going to be one of those. Now, what's important is to go find those desecrated drops.
So, I mean, as far as we know, they specifically told us that it was only going to be, champions,
Right.
uniques, elites. So I'm assuming elites
Right.
means super
Right.
uniques.
That other page I had you on with the monsters was showing you that that's what would happen with the champions, uniques, and such. And so you have to go way down to the bottom to find where they added it. Here's the desecrated ones. Act 1H, Champion A, desecrated. There's another one for Act 1H, unique, desecrated, etc. It's a group. Doesn't matter for us. Level doesn't really matter that much for what's going on here. Picks. -2 means I don't randomly pick. I pick once from the first thing listed up to the number of times says and the probability, and then I pick the other one. So what it's going to do is it's going to go, I'm going to pick a Sunder Charm, and then I'm going to pick the Act 1H Champion treasure class and drop that. So basically the way it's set up right now is they will automatically drop one Thunder Charm every time you kill one. And I agree. I think it's too much.
Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound right.
It'll flood the stupid thing too much.
Like, I
Now, they
definitely don't think it's wrong. I just don't think it's like,
I don't
because I can see it right there, obviously.
Well,
But they may just be trolling us with an incorrect value until they update
maybe
it.
they may not have been thinking it all the way through what they did either. There would be an easy way to fix some of that, which is go back up to where that Thunder Charm line is and give the thing a no drop chance so it doesn't drop every time. Bingo. It wouldn't be very hard for them to fix it. Just treat it like they treat some of the other things dropping so it doesn't drop that often.
Well, I mean, a no drop chance just simply means that it can roll not to drop. But what you're saying is that if a Thunder Charm does roll to drop, there's no chance that it can roll a no drop, so it has to actually fall.
It has to actually fall. You'll notice a lot of these other things have numbers in there, and that's a chance that it won't drop anything at all and stuff for that pick time.
So just out of curiosity, why does Cold Rupture have a 0 next to it, whereas Flame Rift and all the others have 1 next to them?
You're reading it backwards. The no drop is the 0. Cold Rupture, probability 1. Flame Rift, probability 1. Crack Heavens, probability 1. Rotting Fissure, probability 1. Bone Break, probability.
Oh, I see. Because there's a 1 after. There's a 1 after Blood.
Yeah. You were just reading the wrong sequence of numbers. It's the item and then the probability number. You were just reading the 0 from the no drop chance.
I don't know. I think we're going to have to wait and see what the hell the drop chances are. I mean, if it is obviously as common as what this is suggesting, it's going to drop like literally every single.
Here's my hope. This information gets out and there's a little bit of an upcry and then they realize, oops, we may not have set that right.
Or it's bugged. Yeah. Or it's bugged and literally like we launch into ladder and like everybody has like a million Thunder Charms right at the beginning and then they fix it and then.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather them fix it now when they got some time to go, oops, we got to do a quick change. And the thing is, like I'm saying, right here, this would be an easy fix. Change that 0 to something that's a no drop so that they don't drop it every time.
I mean, they still have to roll a probability to actually drop the charm, though, don't they?
No. When you kill a champion, they always drop their drop. When you kill uniques, they always drop their drop because when you get down into these things, right, during the desecrated.
Well, yeah, super uniques and champions don't have a no drop roll because they always drop
Right.
2 items, but it still has to roll what items are actually falling.
Right. So what it is say we're back in Act 1 where we're running into that skeleton or something else that drops this thing and it's a desecrated area. It goes, okay, I'm going to drop something here. I look, I have a no drop chance. I'm going to pick 2 things. And because it's a negative number, what that means is I start cycling through there and use the probability number as the number of picks I do off of this. So I pick Thunder Charms once, and I pick the regular champion drop once. First thing it does is it goes through and drops one of those Thunder Charms. Then it drops what the champion thing would normally have dropped.
So basically, one of the 2 drops that a champion or an elite or a super unique is always going to drop is always going to be 1 Thunder Charm and then something else.
It's always going to be, I drop a Thunder Charm, and then I go and I do the same routine that I would have done for an Act 1 H champion A, which...
Do you think maybe this just could be them manipulating the drops so that the Thunder Charms can only drop in this zone? Because the special desecrated monsters are the only ones that are allowed to drop the item.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just their way of editing in the chance that a Thunder Charm can drop in one of the 2 slots. In other words, the Thunder Charm might not actually be able to drop in both slots.
No, it'll only drop from this.
Yeah, so one of the 2 drops that a champion would normally have could just simply being edited so that is a possibility of a drop in that spot. And maybe not necessarily guaranteed.
Oh, I've worked with these tables a lot. The way this goes is it's going to try and drop 2 items. It's going to go to that treasure class and goes, I have a -2. I'm going to pick one from the first thing, which is come over here to the Sunder Charms and drop one of these. And then I'm going to go to this other one, which is what they normally champion would have dropped
Well,
in that area anyway.
just out of curiosity, I mean, there is something in the game that works with that same exact mechanic. It's the
Yes.
Hellfire Torch, right? Or the Annihilus.
No. What actually works with this same mechanic is the Countess.
Yeah, but the Countess has no drop rolls.
Yeah, but it has the negative numbers. Gotta find the Countess because it's been ages since I really flipped through here and found where they've got this stuff hidden at. She should be.
I don't know why it keeps doing that.
Am I scrolling up and down you're talking about, or?
No, the screen like changing its it keeps changing the aspect ratio. It gets smaller and bigger
Ooh,
over and over
yeah.
again.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm actually looking at the spreadsheet itself, right? But there we go. All right, let's see here. Typically, when you go into like the Countess, she gets a -2 on the picks. She does have some things on how this scales up the chance of finding it. And what it does is it goes, oh, I'm going to try and do her regular pick items. So she can drop the random junk you usually don't like out of her. And then I'm going to do the Countess rune drop. Well, they do whatever her regular Countess drop is. And then when they come over here to the Countess rune, they go, oh, I'm going to pick 3 times with small no drop chance and see if I can pick from rune 4. And then that jumps to rune 4, which has a chance to scale down to the other runes and stuff. But that's also why you don't want to go in with a high level of players in there, is because her regular drop, you don't want her actually picking a regular drop because there's a mechanic built into the code itself where monsters can drop a maximum of 6 items. You can go in and mod as much as you want. You're not normally going to be able to get it to drop more than 6 items at a time, no matter what you do. Like I could tell a quill rat to drop 100 swords, and it's only going to drop 6.
Well, I mean, I can clearly see they added in a desecrated for the Countess as well.
Yeah, for when that area is done, but they didn't key her into those rune drops. So it doesn't look like offhand that she's going to be able to drop those runes unless they got it hidden somewhere else in here. Because these are not the easiest things to parse through and look at quickly.
I mean, there's the Sunder Charms right there, but now they say -3.
Okay, where am I seeing Sunder Charms listed at -3?
So it says counters H desecrated A, and then it says -3.
Okay, yep, okay, so she's set up to drop them.
So what is -3 compared to -2? You said -2 means
Okay,
it picks.
It's a negative number, so it's going to go through the picks and goes, okay, I'm going to take that because this is a probability one. I'm going to take 1 from this one, so I'm going to drop Sunder Charm. Then I'm going to take 1 from here. I'm going to drop the desecrated A drop for Countess. That takes it down to its second pick, and then the third pick is going to be the rune. So like if you go and kill the Countess in a desecrated area, she's going to have even a lower chance of dropping the runes off of her table because
one of them is
going to
consumed
drop-
by the Sunder Charm.
she's going to drop a Sunder Charm, then she's going to drop her regular junk, and then she's going to start picking charms, and by then you're probably getting close to the 6 maximum anyway.
But
Particularly if you're in a large player count game.
my thing is like if we take the Countess as an example, the Countess actually can drop nothing. I've seen it before. Like she's literally like I've killed her before, and she's literally dropped no runes at all. I mean, are we still saying that she is guaranteed to drop the Sunder Charm, or is it just that her first pick will definitely be a chance at the Sunder Charm?
Her first pick is going to be a Sunder Charm, and it's a 0 chance of dropping that. If you've had trouble with her not dropping anything, there's some bug you encountered with her being able to drop items at all. Too close to a wall, because what some people don't realize down there in those catacombs and stuff is those walls have some space to them, and you can get stuff stuck on the other side of them and cannot access them.
Hmm.
I remember in early games there were a couple times I accidentally teleported and ended up on the other side of the wall. Not in the main tunnel itself, but between the wall and nothing.
So
wouldn't let me move off. I could teleport out, but it's like I ended up in a buggy spot.
So is this information here basically what they would input into like I don't know, like Silo's pen to determine the drop calcs?
Yeah, they would pull the whole table up.
So if,
they've got a way to parse it. I'm sure he's got something to parse it, because this is something a lot of us worked out 20 years ago on how to do it. Because I remember talking to some of them about how to figure out some of this stuff. Don't ever remember talking to Silo's pen, but it was probably some of the people who preceded him.
there's a couple different places you can go. I just use Silo's pen because it's very straightforward and easy to use.
It's straightforward and easy to use. I like it. I use it myself. But I'm just saying, I don't remember him being around or whoever it was. But I remember covering this stuff because a lot of people were like, how does this work again? How do I do? Oh, this is how I extract the files and stuff.
It'd be interesting if they had the...
In fact, I went looking for your channel after I realized, hey, wait a minute, there's something buggy about it, because I popped up the game about the same time you started your stream, I would guess. I was trying to play some solo player, and it's like, this isn't going right. I should be on players 3. Why are all my drops? I'm hardly seeing any drops. I am getting a little bit. And then when I was moving around an area, it didn't show any drops. I noticed under my mouse, as I was moving, it would flash for just a second. There was some sort of bow laying on the ground there, but there wasn't. And I could repeat it, and I was like, something's messed up. And I realized, wait a second. Because what I do is I go ahead and I extract the files and put them into the game folder in the right directory structure, because it greatly speeds up how fast you load sections and stuff.
There's a whole guide you can go on.
Yeah, that's what I used to make sure I got it right. So I was like, oh, I bet they updated and my files aren't matching up quite right, so I need to go.
Yeah, that's one of the things people told me.
Do it over again.
That's one of the things people told me that was a downside of extracting the files, is that if every time they updated, you would have to re-extract the files, basically.
Right. That's why I realized something happened. They re-extracted, and I started looking around, and I popped on your channel. It's like, you doing something? Oh, you're doing something. Maybe you know something that I missed. And it took me a little bit of digging to find where they mentioned, oh, we did an update. Thank you for making it obvious.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things that we were talking about with the puzzle, by the way. So, like, the puzzle, we were like, okay, well, if they added some sort of Harajuku cube recipe or something like that, it probably would have reflected in the the Harajuku. There was a Harajuku cube.txt or something, or I can't remember the name of the file. Because it lists all the recipes in there, so it's not like a new recipe would just go unnoticed. Yeah, somebody would have noticed that there was something new in there. I don't know. This definitely does seem interesting. I mean, if they're that common, I guess we're going to see a whole bunch of them on launch day. Yep.
Well, that's why I'm a little bit hoping that people can get this information out, and then a little bit of an outcry raise on the forums and realize, oops, we may have not done something. I mean, they're not perfect people. They may not have thought it all the way through. They're trying to do well, I can tell they've been doing lots of stuff to try and get this ready.
Well, I would hope that they tested it.
Well, they probably have tested it some, but they may not have thought of consequences. It's one thing to run out and do some tests, but not realize what's going to happen.
Well, and that's why I stressed it. That's why I stressed it so much in the patch. My post. I was like, they really have to. They really have to get the drop rate correct. Otherwise, it's going to be either if it's too rare, nobody's going to have one and it's going to be useless. Well, at that point, if you make it so rare nobody has one, well, then you might as well not have even added them to the game. Or if they're way too common, then at that point, like, everybody has one, and like they kind of lose their luster, their specialness.
Right, and right now I think they're on the far too common. So I think they go in and they put a no drop chance on that Sunder Charm line itself. That could be used to fix most of the problem. Exactly what number you put in there, I don't know, but Every time that's too much. Because like I said, the speed runners are going to be up there and have finished Hell Ball in 2 or 3 hours for the fastest ones.
I mean, what it sounds like,
With-
JV, is that the all the monsters, from what it looks like in the file, only have one chance to drop the charm. But for some reason, according to the stats, they're set up to always drop the charm. So, like, let's say you kill a monster, I don't know, like Diablo, for instance. Diablo has 6 different things that he can drop. I think very rarely he can drop a 7th. I think that was part of a bug a long time ago, but basically he drops 6 items. So the Sunder Charm is basically only going to drop from the first slot. So either the Sunder Charm is dropping every single time from every single champion, or the first slot is going to be your chance to get the item, which means you'll never get more than 1 Sunder Charm per monster. At least we can verify that. We would never get more than 1 Sunder Charm per monster, because it only has 1 slot. So which is absolutely fine. We don't want more than 1 Sunder Charm per monster. That seems a little excessive.
I just don't want it every one of them, because
if you killed a monster and 6 Sunder Charms dropped out, I guarantee you that would be some crap.
someone who goes in and first thing they run into is 4 champions and they kill them fast. Boom, you'd have 4 Sunder Charms in the ground.
I mean, honestly, it sounds like the variables were even more important if they're going to be that common, because at that point, then you're hunting for the... Can you imagine if they always drop perfect? Like, if they were always perfect, nobody would even want to hunt another one. They would get the one they need. They would get 6 of them, in fact, and then they would never ever bother picking up another one ever again. Because why? They're perfect. Every single one of them is perfect when they drop. So adding the variables is literally one of the very few ways that you would get people to pick up more than one if they were that common. Like,
yeah, but they still don't need to be that common, in my opinion.
what do I
Because
think
for a
is
lot-
fair for Sunder Charms? I mean, you have to consider that it's not just about how much it takes for me to find something. Like, it's not, you don't balance the game based off of like single player drop content. Like, although I may have only found like 2 burr runes the entire ladder season, I guarantee you across the many thousands of people that have been playing the game, there have been a lot more than 2 burr runes dropped. You know, it's probably in the thousands, if not tens of thousands of burr runes that have, dropped across the entire community. So you can't just like make an item like common enough for one person to find several of them, because then if one person is finding, like, on average, if one person finds like 2 to 3 of them in their ladder time, then that means that you've literally got 3 times like the entire population of the game, which could be, anywhere in excess of 100 or 200,000 people for all you know. So you're looking at close to like 1 million Sunder Charms if like you're finding like 2 or 3 of them per person. Like, I think honestly, like 1 or 2 for like the entire ladder season, like per person, would be pretty fair, because then you could trade and you could barter for the ones that you want, and there would be plenty of them throughout a community, throughout the entire community over like millions of people. I mean, I know that there's probably at least about 100,000 or 200,000 people playing this game. I've run numbers just myself. My channel, of course, is primarily dedicated to Diablo 2 at this point. And one of the mechanics that I have actually is unique visitors, which is a rather interesting statistic. And in 2022, my unique visitor count is... why is it not there? You just gonna do me like that, YouTube? Yes, it is. Well, just in the past 90 days, my unique visitor count is 266,300. It's a lot higher than that, over more than that. But if even just 200,000 of that 266,000 play the game, that's 200,000 times like 2 charms a person. That's still like 400,000 charms that would be found during that particular time period. So you've got to factor in things like that. You've got to be like, okay, well, How many people are playing the game? Like, how often do they play? Like, how often do we want this to drop? How rare do we want it to be? Because if you make it too common and you have a really large player base, you'll be flooded with charms before you know it anyway. Like, it doesn't even matter if it only drops, like, one every week. It's still one every week over, like, 300,000 people that are playing the game. I mean, I thought Geeds was a pretty good benchmark because Geeds is rare, but not so rare that most people don't find one. I'm using Crescent Moon Volsung. It's one of the best swords that you can use for a Tesladin. Ooh, good. It's changing. I didn't want to do Spider Cavern anyway. I didn't want to do Spider Cavern. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick, and then I'm gonna hop into chat with Jack down there and see what he thinks. Sorry, I had to let the dog out to go to the bathroom too. He was throwing a fit. The loop. What loop? The loopy loopiness.
In a level 99 terror zone, players 8 only have 13.6k health, so Frost Nova's killing them too in one shot.
I think Frost Nova's pretty good these days.
Very good.
Yeah, we had a big discussion here about
It
Blizzard.
still
and
says the
Frost
time
Nova.
to kill is 4.47 seconds, though. That doesn't make any sense if they only have 13k health.
Well, you got to cast it quite a few times. Frost Nova's biggest downside, though, is its mana cost. It has a ridiculous mana cost.
Right. Yeah. That's what we
Oh,
were
right.
saying, too.
Okay. So yeah, it's 46. It's 46 damage is its top end. But when it does 13.7k DPS, but it's only doing 46 per cast. 4600.
Someone down to farm nil attack non-stop?
Yeah, but the beauty of Frost Nova is that it hits everything. So unlike all the other abilities like Blizzard and Frozen Orb, those abilities don't hit every monster, and they're often missing. So, but you can literally hit like 300 monsters with Frost Nova if they're all nice and grouped up on you.
That's what we were saying earlier, too. But like it just
Right,
like we
and
were
I don't disagree with that. I'm not saying that no, you're not getting more targets hit. All I'm saying is you're still getting 70% of the targets hit with Blizzard that you are with Frost Nova.
Well, I was playing around with Blizzard the other day for the Blizzard video. Blizzard misses a lot. Like you can put the Blizzard right on top of the monster, and half the time it won't hit them. Like they gotta stand in it for quite some time. And you kind of hope that the pattern like hits them. And half the time, if they don't move, if they're like stationary monsters, like archers or like basically anything that doesn't normally move, like spike fiends, they just like if the pattern doesn't hit them, it just doesn't hit them. Like they just stand there and laugh. That is the second Lycander's aim we found.
damn lucky.
So Ruvenal was going through the files for the Sunder Charms, and we're not really sure if it's 100% accurate or not, because it could just be a troll by Blizzard to mess with the people that are constantly going through the files. But it looks as if the Sunder Charms are going to drop basically like one from every like champion pack or like elite monster.
Wait, what? 100% drop chance? Nah.
From every single champion pack or elite monster, yeah. It's
Really?
there's no drop roll in the files, and on top of that, it's a special roll called a desecrated roll. And basically every elite and unique monster in the Sundered Zones has a desecrated roll, and the desecrated
Stairs here.
roll is automatically going to choose one of the Sundered Charms.
Yeah, it's troll.
Also, yeah, it sounds like it.
That's basically what I'm saying too. Like I feel like
They're trying
there's
to- they're
no
trying to
way
hide
they're going to
the
make it look like it drops that commonly. But if it did, that would just be insane. You'd be leaving them in the dirt, like within a day or two. Like you'd have so many Sunder Charms in your inventory, you'd just be leaving them in the dirt. You wouldn't even look at them. You'd find a really good resistance one, and you just wouldn't even bother anymore.
Sounds about right.
Can you imagine if they would though? If
Oh.
it's so common that literally everybody has like 6 of them in their inventory, like it's just gonna be insane.
That I mean, I could see Blizzard doing that, but realistically, I don't know.
They wouldn't do it to their game. Not like that.
Well, my thing is that not only does it make it like, if they want to make it so that everybody has access to one, like they don't need to make it drop like guaranteed chance. Like that's already like too much, especially from every monster, because that would just be way too much.
Oh, cows just have more health than cows have more health than a freaking super unique. What the hell?
Cows
are
have a lot of
tasty.
health. They're beefy. They're beefy.
What I don't understand is they must have a freak ton of No, like even Eldritch is taking 55k, and the cows are taking 30k. What? What?
In the butt.
You trying to work out a Frost Nova build?
No, I'm trying to see, because Cold Source is going to be the best source now. Period, hands down. After the nerf.
I mean, the beauty of a Frost Nova build is you don't have to just do Frost Nova, because the synergy for Frost Nova is Blizzard and Frozen Orb.
That's what I was saying.
So your Frost Nova Sorceress can be running a fully decked out Frozen Orb as well, which would help out with your single target damage, because Frozen Orb is definitely a lot better single target than Frost Nova.
Right, but why aren't you just running Blizzard?
Well, Blizzard has a lot more synergies.
So what are we taking? What are we taking in play? What are we taking then? Because like it's still 80 points to get this Frost Nova maxed.
It is 20 for Cold Mastery, right?
20 for
Frozen
Cold,
Orb.
20 Frozen Orb, and 20 for Blizzard,
20.
and 20 for Frost Nova.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Frozen Orb's the easiest one, because you don't have to put any other points in anything else. You could just use the fully maxed out Frozen Orb in combination with the Frost Nova, and then you already have the Cold Mastery. You already have the Frost Nova maxed out. I mean, most people don't put points into Ice Bolt anyway, so you'd get 2% off of Ice Bolt just for putting 1 point in it to reach down to Frozen Orb, which you're going to have to do anyway. The Ice Bolt one synergy for Frozen Orb is actually pretty terrible anyway. Like even 20 points only gets you a 40% bonus in damage.
I mean, I thought we were comparing one to the other. I didn't know we were talking about making the Frost Nova even weaker, so that you could run stuff in another tree.
Nah, I was thinking about running the same tree. But yeah, if you had to run another tree, you probably would have to make it weaker. My problem with Frost Nova though is that mana cost, and and you're gonna feel it too if you actually build it. It's just insanely high mana cost. I think it's like maxed out. It's like almost 50 mana or something, or like 49 or 47 or something.
I like Ice Blast more than freaking Frost Nova.
Frost Nova, Ice Blast has lots of high damage, but it's a very single target.
I thought it had an AoE.
Glacial Spike has an AoE, but it's half damage of Ice Blast.
Yeah, it's half damage, but I mean it's still more than Frost Nova.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Glacial Spike is amazing. Usually people who build Glacial Spike also build Blizzard, and you use them in combination.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? You know.
And Snow Clash beefs up both of those, so you definitely would be wearing a Snow Clash.
Well, the thing is, I know we have way too much into Cold Mastery here. I don't know what the correct amount to cut it down would be. Let me see.
Well, you need 90. Yep. You need 90. 195%. That's your goal.
Right, but that's what I'm trying to figure out, because they gave me all this gear they gave me, which I think is way overkill. It's like negative 90 or some shit already on the gear.
Yeah, and then you also have to subtract all your facets and other equipment that you have, anything that subtracts.
Yep.
Alright, so that's negative 15. So we need we need 170 on the Cold Mastery. That would give us more skill points back.
Yeah, that's how you can min-max Cold. You can definitely get a lot more points out of it that way if you can finagle it. Also, if you're utilizing any items that beef up Cold Mastery directly too.
Yep, cold skills.
Like, doesn't Tals have +2 Cold Mastery on it?
Well, yes. This is the gear set they gave me. Okay, they gave me Death's Fathom with a facet, Night Wings with a facet, Ormus with a facet, And that's it. The rest of it just like faster, normal faster cast rate plus skills gear.
What faster cast break point did they get you to?
105. Level 11 static. Is that good? That's good enough, right?
Oh yeah, you just put statics of 1 wonder.
And I already have level 23 chilling armor from the damn Ormus. Or not the Ormus, the Snow Clash, so I don't even need to waste points there.
Actually, now that I remember, Max Static Frost Nova is actually a build. I remember that now. You basically just max out static so that you can hit everything on the screen, and then you get them down to the the 50% HP mark as quick as you can with your faster cast, and then you just Frost Nova them all to death.
Sounds about right.
Since both of them technically pretty much hit everything on the screen anyway, because Frost Nova has a pretty large radius.
Now, my next question is it better to run Ormus and Spirit, or should we be running freaking facets?
Ormus is if you're trying to specifically beef up one specific build. Like if you're trying to beef up one specific skill, Ormus is better. But if you're trying to get like multiple things beefed up, you definitely want to go with a different armor. Because like it doesn't have plus to all skills, so you're losing out on everything else. Whereas you're beefing up that one thing really high. So like, if you were going to be a Frost Nova sorceress, then you can have like a +3 Frost Nova and everything else be damned. But
No, it helps the other stuff too because of that 15% more damage with cold skills.
A little bit, yeah.
Right, but you can get that same 15 in a J mod.
Like we were talking earlier, that's relying on complete luck. So I wouldn't even consider that an option.
I mean, J mods aren't that hard to get. Like you can shop these guys. Like they're not that hard to get. Now, granted, you're gonna get the worst version. You're gonna get the ones that have the penalty because they're not light armors. But you're a sorceress. You don't care. You're teleporting.
That is correct.
Oh no, I think the +3 to your damage skill is better than the.
I think it is on
5%
Frost
damage.
Nova. I don't think it is on Blizzard. I think on Blizzard the facets are better.
Well, the
No.
cold skill damage has a huge effect on cold skills, whereas fire and lightning skill damage doesn't have anywhere near as good of an effect on the
Actually,
lightning or fire. It has to do with the masteries. The masteries actually nerf the cold skill damage.
I think Ormus is the correct pick for both builds, but I think the shield needs to be for Blizzard. It needs to be the facet because Blizzard's already doing so much damage. You want that +20/+20 more than you want +2. Because Ormus is already giving you +20 -5. And the -5 you don't care so much about because you have Cold Mastery.
Right.
But the +20 you do care about.
The answer to that, Logan, is when ladder ends, we're going to get a temporary 3 shared stash tabs, which will probably be marked by a different color, and they can only be removed items from and not added to. So they're basically just going to be temp tabs. And at the end of ladder season 2, those temp tabs will be deleted. So if you don't have all your items out of there in like 4 or 5 months, whenever the next ladder starts, then yes,
Tal's
gone.
Orb doesn't give sorcerer skills, right? It's just like random to master.
+2 to sorcerer skills, and then it gains 2 to masteries when you. I think it's the 3-piece, maybe.
Tal's set is just kind of just generically good. It's not going to be better than like a best in slot build, but it is actually really good for a cold sorceress because it also has cold mastery and cold skill damage on it.
Mm-hmm.
Get enough skill points, you might not even have to put a point in cold mastery if you used it.
Yeah, if you were using Tal's, it would just give you cold mastery, so you wouldn't even have to put a point in it. Can that save an extra
Uh,
point? Save one
I
more
think you're
point.
still, especially if you're running towels, I think you're going to need points in it because you're not going to have enough plus skills to get it where you want it.
You don't think so? I think if you
I mean,
focus
you get a
on
decent
skill-
amount.
I mean, with
for-
all these damn facets we're using, I still need a level 30 cold mastery to get negative 195.
All the facets.
Oh,
all those facets.
I mean, we are running 3 facets here on a cold source.
we're just spitballing here. I mean, it's kind of different when we can't see it, and we're on max roll, doing all this. So
Right, and we're
yeah.
I'm just saying, with towels, we would lose +2 from the helm, +2, +3 from the orb. I don't know how much towels gives us total to.
Don't you normally just 3-piece it? Wouldn't you just do the amulet, the belt, and the something else?
Well, if we do the amulet, we're losing 20% of our cast rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you get it back,
you
though.
You get it back. You get 30%, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you get 30 from the set? Well, we also lose 20 from the orb, too. Let's not forget that. And 20 from the armor.
Doesn't the orb come with it? Comes with cast rate?
Yeah, I thought I had factored on it too.
I think it does.
Let me see. Let me pull this stupid set up.
See, this is what we're good for, brainstorming. This is why I like this kinship, because we all are put in and on this. Great.
You want to build something, we're going to make it work.
Right. Well, it's like I was talking to you guys earlier
Like a
about
poison whirlwind barb.
Yep, like poison whirlwind barb that I want to do.
All right,
So he was worried about the whirlwind barb because it wouldn't proc venom. But once he procs venom, venom stays on him because it's like a poison enchant. Then he can start whirlwinding.
All right, so with towels, we get 20% on the orb, so that's boom, that's a strike right there. With 2 items, we get +1, so we're losing +2 there. We need a complete set to get the +15 cold skill damage, unfortunately.
Well, this would be like a budget build then.
Budgets.
Well, that'd
We
be
get-
a budget build. If you're gonna downgrade from the top tier gear, then just go to the
Well,
budget.
Towels
which
is
would
definitely
be
budget. It works really well.
100%.
Well, most of towels is budget. The armor,
All
I
Towels
don't
is
think is budget.
The armor and the Amy.
It's
Amy-
budget easier
Amy
to
is-
find.
Amy is harder to find, but that's because nobody goes and farms in the right place for it.
Yeah, it's a low level item, and
Yeah,
everybody's
well,
always
all the
surprised when it
places.
drops from low level places. Everybody's always
mean-
like, "Oh, okay, well, I just got it from like normal difficulty," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's kind of a low level item."
Because by itself, it's really not that good. It has to have the rest of the set with it.
Has anybody noticed like lately that the auto gold pickup seems to be kind of like doing whatever
I mean,
it
it's-
wants to do? Like sometimes it
still
works and sometimes it doesn't.
Fine. It's still +2 skills, life, mana, and a lightning res, which is the most important res. It's still a really good sorceress amulet.
Yeah.
I think the main problem with Towels is that it doesn't give you plus 2 skills on the O skills, which is what a lot of people want.
Mm.
They want to be able to use their CTA or whatever. So anything that's plus Sorc specifically doesn't help them with that.
Right.
Like our caster amulet.
Me too.
That's one of the reasons why I think Mara's is a lot more powerful than just the generic amulet that a lot of people make it out to be, because it is plus 2 all with very nice effects.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I stand by it. Blizzard is going to be the strongest sorceress there is this season.
Oh yeah,
Fireball
I
can
agree.
be pretty powerful too.
Have you heard about the update?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Fireball is not going to touch Blizzard anymore. Neither is
Blizzard
Lightning.
does its damage in a pattern, right? If a Fireball Sorceress is strong enough, she can teleport directly into the center of a group of monsters, and she can start firing fireballs, and it will hit every single monster around her in a circle. The amount of damage that she can potentially put out will far exceed a blizzard cast on top of a group of monsters.
I mean, yeah, if you're in a place where the target wasn't already normally immune, because you're only going to be able to get it to -5 with the best in-slot gear in the game.
Yeah, but the mastery to fireball increases the fireball's damage.
Right,
So-
but
so if you do twice as much damage with a fireball as you do with a blizzard, that's the same effectiveness of blizzard ignoring 100% of their resistance.
yeah, but you're not doing the same amount of damage. Blizzard is still doing on the same. When you're talking the gear that you need to get your fire that high or that low, or your negative fire resist that
And then you're
good.
missing half your targets, so that cuts your damage in half effectively. Or gets
No,
you
no,
killed.
you're not going to get enough plus skills because your weapon doesn't have skills now. Your helmet, well, your helmet does, but your shield doesn't have plus skills.
But
Your
we're
armor
also-
doesn't have plus skills.
We're also talking about the difference with a skill that can be spammed like infinitely versus a skill that has a delay. I mean, your 200, like even if you had a 200% FCR Fireball Sorceress, they can go in there and they can spam a huge number of fireballs before you get off your second blizzard.
Or even your first blizzard gets to hit its target.